Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today I was thinking yesterday when I was doing my look of like what I feel like a Valentine's Day look would be. And it's like I said, reds, pinks, whites, maybe a purple, maybe a black darken, stuff like that, right? And I was like, but I don't have very many reds. I didn't think. But I did actually have, but like in different palettes. You know what I mean? Like I have a red from Glamlight too, really, in that paint palettes and stuff. And then I have some other reds and other palettes, but I didn't want to have like a whole thing of palettes in here. So I was like, oh my goodness, Makeup Geek. I know, like I had, because they had a big sale. So I thought, well, I'll just pull the colors I need. And then if y'all have them, great. If you don't, you can sort of just go through your collection and try to find a color like it. But I really like the colors I chose. So the first shade we're going to start out with is Pretty in Pink. And this is a pretty common color, to be honest with you, like that is in this line. So what I'll do is I'll swatch them on the back of my hand as I do it. Or I could swatch them at the end, I suppose. And you can sort of, if you are interested in recreating or just having shadows that are in this color scheme, you would have it. But I was like pinks, I have plenty of pinks. I have pink palettes out the wazoo for that matter. Because, I love me a pink. There's not a, I do. I love pinks. But I didn't, like I said, want to pull a whole bunch of palettes out and have them sitting here and just grabbing one from every palette, although I could have. But honestly, it's a hassle. That's why sometimes it don't matter to me on palettes if certain things are in them. If I know I'm going to have like a replacement there with something else. Like if there's not a lighter shade for my inner corner, no big deal. I can use the highlighter I'm wearing, right? But if there's not like a lighter shade to start a crease with, it in a way kind of bothers me, but not really. I mean, I could always use my bronzer or my blush, but it's not typically something I want to do. Like, the only thing I really don't care about is, like I said, inner highlight. Just because some people don't like it and some people do. And I get it's a preference, and you want to make a palette that's going to kind of go with a lot of people's, you know, makeup style. But I will say this is a very, very pretty color here, this Pretty in Pink. It's just beautiful. And it's so sad that Makeup Geek is gone. Because I didn't get on the train when it was like hot. I got on like I finally decided to try them just maybe a couple months prior to saying they were closing, to be honest. And honestly, the reason I did it is because I was like, I've tried a lot of people's shadows, like Laura Lee and Manny and Jeffrey and Tati. Like, I was trying all them, and I never tried Makeup Geek, and I wanted to see, price wise, and she's about the same, and then, formula wise, if it was how much different it was, if at all, and that sort of stuff. And I will say, quality wise, I mean, they're all about the same. It's just do you like the color story, or do you want to shop from the brand, type of thing. But what I will say is when she came out with the big palette, yeah, it was kind of pricey. But I will say I liked it because it made sense for people that don't know about makeup. The way she did it, it really does work. If you just start from the top and work your way down, it will work. And I like that thought process because it makes it so easy for someone like me who's not good with color if you just mix those around and put them wherever you want, like, I would have no idea. I'd be all over the place, you know? And those kind of palettes kind of intimidate me, and then I don't want to get them because I'm so scared of them. Although I usually do get them, and then I just don't use them. That's kind of the truth there. I do get them, and then I don't use them. And I feel like that'd be anything, you know, in life. If you're scared of it, you're not going to necessarily go to it, you know what I mean? But this color, I really do love this color. I think I've used this color before in something, and I've said the same thing. It's just the most prettiest pink shade. I just really like this pink. And there's probably a palette out here that is like this, and I just don't have it, which is kind of funny. It's got this color story, but alright. We can always go back in if we have to. Alright, the next shade we're going to go into is called Unleashed. Now this is a little bit different because this is a power pigment and it's unleashed. So this is a pressed pigment, not necessarily an eyeshadow, if you get my drift. But it's that pink there. You can't even see that other pink now that I put that down. Let me see if I'm scared I'm going to get this eyeshadow all over me. I'll try to build that pink up a little bit. There we go. And we're just going to build up a little bit. Ooh. I will say with these, they're very powdery. Her pressed pigment things. Or this brush is just picking up way too much. One of two things is happening though, for sure. But regardless, I still like this color. It's a very pretty pink. I don't like it as much as the first pink. But I do like it. Like it, the way it performs is good, you know what I mean? It's just the color, like that first pink, there's just something about it. I don't know what, but there is something. But we're just gonna blend it. I was actually surprised that the look came out as good as it did, to be honest with you. I won't lie. I really wasn't expecting it to. I know that sounds bad, I know. But I know me, and here it is. And I know I mess up on stuff a lot. That's why I really didn't think that this would come together the way it did. But I was so glad when I was done and I looked at it and I was like, okay. It could have been a little better, obviously, because I'm not a makeup artist, you know, and I don't know color theories and all that good stuff. But it came together pretty well. I'm going to take that same shade right there, and we're just going to run it along the lower lash line. And there's always things you could have changed, or I could change next time even. Like I kind of was going back and forth with the waterline on whether to put like a silver shade, a white shade, or just a cream, like a neutral shade, a peachy shade or something. But in the end I went with a hot pink shade from Urban Decay. But I do think it looks nice with it. I mean, obviously I do think that, kind of think white would have been better, just because it would have made it pop, but I don't mind what it looks like either, like with the pink. I I feel like it does suit the look just fine. I was looking for like a lighter pink shade, but in the end it's okay. I will say that these blend out nicely though. Just be careful when you first apply, because it is a little powdery. But once you get through that initial portion there, you'll be fine. Alright, now we're going to come into the scary shade, which is the red. That's the one that really was scaring me, because Reg and I we don't really get along, to be honest and fair. Alright, so the red I'm going to be using, again, is a power pigment, and it's called Untouchable, and it will stain. I think the pink probably will stain too, to be honest. But that's okay, I'm not worried about it really. And the reason I say that is because it's staining my fingers pretty good. And I'm wiping them. So there's the red. It's not, I mean it's a red, but it's not like, I don't know if it was necessarily the red I was envisioning, but it is the red that I'm okay with at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, this red does what I need it to do to create the look for Valentine's Day, you know? I do think I was going for a little bit of a darker red, almost, but once I started using it, I was like, okay, this is gonna work just fine, you know? And it kind of does match my shirt. It's just a little bit more, to me, it looks a little more orangey red than what I was wanting. But I don't think you can really tell it when you put it next to the other shades, which then make it just all go well together, you know? And that's what I was aiming for at the end of the day. And it builds up so nice. And it blends like, I really don't have any problems with it. And at first, like I said, I was scared. Just because it is such a bright color that one slip and you're in trouble. And that is still true. But I didn't have any problems to where I was slipping, so therefore it all just turned out really well, which I was glad for. Because I definitely don't need things to be harder than what it already is for me. And it creates what I was wanting it to create. That was the other thing. Like, it really did all come together in the end. And it was a little bit of back and forth too. Don't let me, especially when I was first doing it. Like this eye, I kind of know how it's all going to go because I've already did the other eye. But it was a lot of back and forth on that eye. I won't lie. And it took a lot longer because I didn't know how pigmented these were going to be, how slow I had to build. And now I know, so it's going to be a little bit quicker to do this eye than that one in that aspect, but it's still going to take a second because I'm going back into that second shade because My eyes are totally different eyes. They don't want to play nicely at all. They just want to be all different in every way, shape, and form. I get it though. Okay. Then I took this white, which is, it's called Power Pigment White Lies. Now this was not as white as I thought it was gonna be. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there on the eye. It wasn't as white as I thought it was going to be on the eye, and I had to really build that up a little bit. I didn't really care that much about that. Where'd it go? Because after I thought about it, I should have grabbed the Natasha Denona, the palette, the Xeon or whatever palette, because it's got a white and a black in there. But this worked. If it didn't work, I would have, you know, eventually have done that, but because this did work so well in the end, I was okay with it. But like I said, and all I did was really just pack it onto the brush and then put it on. You don't want to get it too close to those pinks though, or it will like mesh and blend onto the brush, and then you stick it back into that white. You might get transfer, but I just kind of like stayed clear of certain things and areas and stuff, and it all worked as far as I was concerned. And it ended up, this was not exactly what I wanted anyway. It was, but it wasn't in the same sense. But it did what I needed. A little bit further. Because like I said, I did want white. I didn't know where I was going to place it, but I feel like you have to have white for Valentine's Day. And I'm not a makeup artist, like I said. So, it's a little bit harder for me. Okay. So now that I got that on, I think I got everything blended out as best as I'm going to get it, you know? And I could have used my really good brushes, but here's the thing, y'all. I would die if I stained my good brushes, because they're expensive, you know? And these are, I mean, everything's expensive nowadays, but I just did not want to stain those, so I stuck with like natural hair brushes and stuff. We're going to go back into the first shade, that first pink. I don't want to lose any of these colors, because I feel like you need them in order to make it all like look right, you know what I mean? I did have another idea of doing, but I'm not that artistic, but somehow creating a heart on your lid somehow, like that or something, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, I'm kind of a little too old for that. Kinda, just a little bit though. Okay, now the next shade we're going to go into after that white shade is going to be Whimsical. And this shade is so pretty. I really do like this shade a lot. And it's basically just like a frosted pink. Ooh, look at that hit. The light. And if I wet it, it would be so pretty. But we're not going to wet it. Just going to use it dry. We're going to pick it up and we're going to place it on the lid in the rest of this spot here. And we're going to be careful because we don't want fallout. So pretty. And I didn't get fallout. However, if you feel like you might, either use your finger when applying, use a glitter glue, spray it, do whatever you have to do. You know, do your eyes first, whatever. I didn't get any, so, you know, whether that was luck or what, I don't know, but I did not get any fallout. But I will say this is so pretty. It does look whimsical in a sense. I like how she named all these shades. It makes sense to me. Alright. Then, I was like, that white just wasn't working for me. You know, it needed a little bit of shine to it, right? So I dug around in the Makeup Geek and I found this called Stardust eyeshadow. Now this is in a circular pan. Who cares? Not me. So I got it out and applied it where the white is on my eye. So it's right here. And the reason is because most of these shades, if you find them, right, they go like a yellow gold, or they're like a pink, or they go like they're just not white, like icy white. And this is, and I love it. So we're just going to top what we put in the white with the Stardust now, to give it more of an oomph. And it blends so nicely with Whimsical too, which I like. Again, not a makeup artist, y'all, so I'm sure if you recreated this, yours would be way better, but I'm just trying to do like what I think a color story should be for Valentine's Day personally. Okay. We're going to go back into that red. When y'all do your makeup, is your mouth hanging open? Mine is all the time. I'm like, girl, could you just shut your mouth when doing your makeup, please? And I can't. I tried. I can't. Okay. Now we're going to go back into that second shade that I used the first pink, or the second pink I mean. And I'm going to put it back under my lower lash line a little bit darker. Okay, yeah, that's good. And then we're going to go into this shade here. Let me get all those brushes in. There. Alright, now we're going to go into this purple shade, which again is a powder pigment called Invincible. And it's a purple. Let me find a finger here to swatch it with. And then put it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to line my top lash line and lower lash line with this pigment. And the reason why I thought to bring in a purple, I was going to do black. But this is such a bright, colorful look. I needed something to break up the pink, number one. And I didn't, I wanted to kind of stick with color still, you know, not black. But I feel like black could have worked just the same too, to be honest. And of course I'm using my Refer brush. Go on the lower lash line, right up on that lash line, because I don't want to lose the pink that's under there. Okay, far away, looks good. I have to look like at several different mirrors, because like sometimes things look good up close and then far away no, or far away it looks good and you get up close and you're like, oh no, what did you do? And I find that interesting in itself too, when you think about it. Or in real life, what it looks like versus like Instagram, or you know, in a picture, stuff like that. All that fascinates me, how things can change. Okay, so now that I've got all that together, the black, hold on, let me show you what I have here real quick though. Let me put this in. Then I had a black, let me show you the black that I had laid out, which is called Corrupt, and it's a powder pigment, and it would look like, ooh, black. That's what it's going to look like if you used it. And it is a black, for sure. So that is 8 shades. I don't know what I would do for the 9th, to be honest. But here's the palette that what it would look like without that 9th shade. just with 8 shades. So that's that white there, the matte white. That's Whimsical there, and then this is the Stardust. Of course, it's not in a square, but that's what, like, if I was gonna do a color story, that kind of really, it's kind of like reminding me of Valentine's Day and other things. Maybe even a lighter purple, like this one where it's more like a pinky purple, maybe even. What is this one called? Courageous. This one here. To make the 9th shade where it's like a pink purple type shade, even. Right there. Like something like that, I think. But it's just my opinion on it, you know, nothing. But anyway, that's what the palette would look like if, you know, if you have these shades, or if you're trying to find a color story to go with it. But I really had fun doing this. I kind of want to take the Makeup Geek palettes and make them into 9 pans, like I said, or any kind of like newer palettes and stuff, you know, like that are 9 pan. Try to find them out of the Makeup Geek shadows, and then, you know, from there you can go from, you know, any palette in a sense. Okay, we're going to curl the eyes, or we're going to curl the eyes, yeah, we're going to curl my eyes. No, we're going to curl the lashes using my Surratt eyelash curler. We're not going to curl my eyeballs. And then any kind of pinky blush and stuff like that I think would be good for Valentine's Day. I'm going to get these colors off my hand though now, because I know me and I'm going to have this all over me. Let me show you one more time what it looks like right there. Okay, so now let me get these off. Well, you know what? I used a makeup wipe and that came off pretty darn good. It did not stain, and those were sitting. So that's not too bad, actually. So maybe these won't stain, these powder pigment shades. I may be wrong. So then for top lashes, I'm going to use the YSL Lash Clash mascara. And I'm just going really slow, because I know me and I will mess up if I don't. I will have makeup or mascara all over my face if I don't do it slow and easy and steady. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm going to use the Lancome Defenseals. I really do like this mascara a lot. I don't know if I like it as much as the Gucci though. But that's two separate things. To be honest, two different mascaras doing different things, so. open this. And in all honesty, this look turned out way better than I could have imagined. Because honestly, I truly really thought it'd be a mess, me trying to play with these shades. So I am actually kind of excited that it did work as well as it did. From a beginner standpoint, you know what I mean? Like, if I was a makeup artist, it'd be no problem no matter what color I use. But because I'm not, it was nice to be able to use these shades and not have any problems, you know? Thought I got mascara there. I guess I didn't, though. So, I mean, with that said, it's like I really enjoyed this look, and it was easy, so that made me even enjoy it even more. If it was harder, I honestly, I think it would have scared me and made it to where I wouldn't have ventured outside my comfort zone with colors. So I am glad that the Makeup Geek shadows are good for beginners that are just, you know, experimenting in a sense, you know, and that they work so well, and they're not terrifying, and they're not scary, and if it does get overhand, that, you know, you can blend. There's all sorts of, you know, you will be able to handle it. And for that, I am, like, grateful that these shadows did that, because I do think that this could have went in any direction, to be honest. So I'm glad that it did go in this direction. And there we go. Final look using what? Using Makeup Geek shadows to create what I think a Valentine's Day palette would look like. There we go. I was going to say, because it's not really a palette, just Makeup Geek single shadows, so. But you could create your own palette using them. I mean, that was the purpose of them, right? For lips, I got the Urban Decay Liar lipstick on, and I topped it with the Manny, the Lunar Beauty, in Love Me oil. Although it's pretty much gone now. My lips just sucked that up real quick, so. And then, like I said, any blush, I'm wearing the Dior pink blush, wherever it went. It's that, there it is, that hot pink one. The 001 pink. And for bronzer, I'm using the Too Faced Milk Chocolate. And then for highlighter, I'm using the 004 Rose Gold palette by Dior. And I got the Shimmer Rose and the metallic pink gold mixed together, these two. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this video helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you or gave you some sort of ideas for, you know, looks maybe for next year or for any time for that matter. You know, you can go out looking like this anytime. I would. I mean, kinda. I don't like stairs though, but you know what I mean. But that is all I have for you today. And, oh, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.